Hi, and welcome to another live episode of Marketplace Masters, brought to you by Merchant Spring, the leading marketplace analytics platform for Amazon and Walmart agencies. Marketplace Masters strives to go really deeper into the challenges that agencies face to lift e-commerce performance via practical actions and insights. I'm your host, Paul Sonneveld, and today we're going to talk about Walmart's marketplace and specifically how Amazon brands and service providers should really think about this really exciting opportunity. I've invited David Milstein to join us and to share his particular expertise today. Let me just introduce you to him. David is the co-founder and chief operating officer of Cellcord, a full-service Walmart agency, where he has since built their internal systems, allowing them to grow at really an unparalleled rate. He has a strong background in IT and systems implementation and has managed hundreds of accounts and tens of thousands of listings on the Walmart platform. David's really passionate about using his skills to help brands diversify their revenue by taking advantage of this up-and-coming Walmart.com marketplace. Thank you so much for being on the show today, David.
Thanks, Paul. Pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. It's a super exciting opportunity. Walmart is clearly gaining more and more traction and more people looking at it. And I'm excited to talk to you because there are not many agencies who make it their core business just to do Walmart. And you are certainly in Cellcord doing a wonderful job in that space. So thank you so much for agreeing to join me. I know you've just come off a long flight, so I appreciate it.
Of course.
So, David, let's just get into it, right? Let's talk about Walmart's edge over Amazon. This is a question I hear all the time, particularly from kind of other Amazon agencies. Why should I even think about Walmart? Amazon's great. I'm doing six figures. Amazon is a big platform. Why should I even bother thinking about Walmart?
It's a great question. The way I would pose it is, what would you tell a regular, just a DTC seller or brand if you went back 7 years ago to, let's say, Amazon? Why try to get onto this platform? And you can see the growth. The people that took advantage of the platform in its infancy, or even at the level or stage that it was years ago, they saw the phenomenal growth that they're able to get through to today. And that's where Walmart is. Walmart's a marketplace that's just growing so quickly. And if you're able to get in now at this opportune time, you're going to see the revenue or just the profits of your labor in a few years or even a few months. You can see that today. Just a great way to expand. And at the rate Walmart's going right now, we say you should be doing, let's say, 10 to 20% of your Amazon revenue. Down the line, we're thinking that could hit up to like 40%. And we'll see how things go. That could potentially even outperform Amazon at some point. We don't know, but we'll see. Let's put in the opportunity. It's not such a big investment, but it's the opportunity is already there. And you could even be profitable today. So highly recommended platform to go to.
I'm sure 10% to 20%, even today. I mean, you may like, oh, that doesn't sound much, but think about how long that has taken you to maybe get to that size on Amazon, as you said. And given, the challenges with Amazon, particularly this year around driving growth and profit, who wouldn't want to, see another 10 or 20% on top of their sales, right? What are the other benefits that Walmart offers that maybe Amazon sellers don't get?
What does Walmart offer that Amazon doesn't? So what I see is one of the biggest opportunities that Walmart does offer for sellers, is particularly like the private label area, is Walmart's using their stores, as like kind of like the opportunity to potentially get in store with Walmart as a great way for sellers to, come to the market. They have a yearly program called Open Call, where they invite brands to pitch their product directly to Walmart for the opportunity to get in store. Now, firstly, that's a major foot into the retail game, which is huge as its own. But like Walmart itself is such a big player in the retail world, which is something. I mean, yes, Amazon does have like an opportunity to go to vendor, but like not the same way that Walmart is solidified in the massive being that is Walmart stores. Getting a single PO with a Walmart store can be a massive break for your business. So just the ability or the opportunity that Walmart does offer to go in that direction is huge for sellers. It's also it's Walmart is much less competitive than Amazon, and the fact that is the case, just a separate note why Walmart is potentially a more opportune marketplace, is because there's less competition. It's cheaper to get in. So why not put some focus over there instead of spending your time trying to min-max your advertising efforts on Amazon or whatever it is, when you could just go for a much easier opportunity that is on Walmart. So there's many reasons I think those two really set it apart.
And just to follow up note on David, do you have a sense of the size of Walmart's marketplace or e-commerce business compared to their total store sales?
Yeah.
I mean, so what's beyond that horizon picture? You've just joined the marketplace, but the bigger prize, what does it look like in terms of ratios and opportunity?
So in general, the .com space is massive. It's really massive for Walmart.com. The brands that have been 1P for a while, I'll just tell you as a whole, 1P listings tend to do better than 3P listings. Even in the, you could just move over. Just that ability, that sold and shipped by Walmart label, just increases traffic towards those listings. And as a platform, though, Walmart.com, as big as many sales as it's making, is still fractional compared to that of Walmart as a retailer. Walmart retail, as a company, brings in $600 billion a year, the highest grossing company for the past 20 years. They're the kings. And it's only a fraction of that. I think .com was somewhere in the 25 billion. I might be off on these numbers, just some old data I've seen, but that's a fraction compared to what they're doing in store. But that number is continuously growing, and I would say the store is potentially pretty much at a plateau, if not maybe slightly going down, just with everyone ordering things these days, especially with the pickup and delivery options. So the opportunity for .com and in stores is massive. Even just getting 1P online is a better opportunity than 3P online. So either way you go, when you get into Walmart, you have a major opportunity anytime in 1P.
Yeah, right. So you already started mentioning 1P a lot. So it'd be good to just dive a bit deeper, right? 1P versus 3P. Paint a picture for us. What does it look like on Walmart? Probably from the context of, being familiar with the Amazon 1P versus 3P, what does it look like on Walmart? What are the differences and how does it work?
Sure. So Walmart's constantly evolving, on all fronts, about what on 3P, or I would say the 3P is evolving much quicker than the 1P. The 1P has been solidified for a while. So some of the benefits 1P, let's say, has over 3P is firstly it's through a different portal. It's through Retailing versus Walmart's 3P is through Seller Center. And in Seller Center, it's more of a basic portal that you're familiar with, setting up your items through a certain structure, versus in Retailing, you have what's called Item 360. And there's actually some attributes as well as the ability to be in multiple category paths, which is not available for the 3P listings, which kind of gives you a bit of an edge. If I were you as a seller, if you have access to 1P as Retailing, I would actually go twice. Put your listings on 3P and 1P. Get that 3P account. This way, you could use some of the benefits of the 3P as well as the benefits of the 1P. Some of the benefits of the 3P is it's a lot easier to do things. You can just quickly make edits here and there, as well as just how the portal's set up. It's a little bit cleaner and simpler to use. And there's also I think there's much better and easier reporting over there. So it's kind of a cool way to kind of use both platforms to manage your listings, even though ideally it would all be in one, but we'll see what Walmart has to bring. It's constantly evolving. So excited to see what's in the future.
And just help me understand, is it, when you're a 1P supplier, is it possible just to be a 1P just for e-commerce, or does it mean you're in stores as well?
Yeah, so there's pretty much two setups for 1P. You get into the weeds if you want to go for some more, but it's primarily 1P in store and online, which Walmart handles that for you, the fulfillment. And then you have what's called DSV, which is a dropship vendor, which you handle the fulfillment. You get a PO from Walmart every day. These are your orders. You have to ship it the same day. If you don't, they're not going to be happy. But that's a different level of 1P, and that's sold and shipped by Walmart. They'll call it, even though it's technically sold and shipped by you. So there's that DSV section, which is not in store. But DSV is a great way to get into store, because once you have that 1P contract to begin with, that's that you have that you're from the door with your buyer. Prove to them that you can make sales, and they'll take you in store. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah, no, fantastic. I was going to ask about the warehousing part as well. It's obviously very familiar with FBA and how that works, or warehousing from a 1P point of view. I know Walmart has WFS, and I think most people are aware of that. From a 1P point of view, is it the same warehouse, different warehousing? So roughly give us a sense of how that works.
Sure. So 3P uses WFS. 1P doesn't use WFS. What WFS is Walmart's version, Walmart Fulfillment Services, their version of FBA. It's exclusive to 3P sellers. So for 1P, that's something you got to handle yourself, or there's so many of these like 3PLs that will just handle the drop shipping for you if you just send them inventory. Or if it's in store by Walmart, they're the ones that will be handling fulfillment over there. But on the there's no WFS necessarily for the 1P side. That's not really an option. WFS is currently exclusively a 3P thing. We'll see where it's going. WFS is evolving tremendously. It's also, throw back to like the edges that Walmart has over Amazon, is the warehousing. There's more warehouses for Walmart than any other company in the US, like by far. And there's a Walmart store within 50 miles of every American. So like, or well, in the US at least. So like you could have like the ability to get this like 2-3 hour shipping, much more of like, it makes a lot more sense when you think of it from that perspective than from Amazon, which maybe in big cities, New York, LA, they're able to do that overnight 4 or 5 hour shipping. But once you start to get to more like the rural areas, like, well, what's going on over there, So Walmart has that opportunity that they even have a couple of units in a bunch of different warehouses, depending on where they see this product going. That's where that's where they could offer that really fast shipping. It's going to be interesting to see how this evolves because it's really new. So WFS is definitely in an evolution stage. We're still seeing some listings occasionally where it's WFS, but still shows like 4-day shipping. It's like, yo, what's going on over here? This is something to look into. Just if as a seller, you should always be wary to make sure to even if you're in WFS, don't just set it and leave it. You've got to make sure to check to make sure you're actually getting there in time. So it's an interesting evolution. I'm curious to see the outcome.
Yeah. So before we get into some of the more practical considerations, getting onto the platform, I want to go back to profitability. You mentioned the word profitability at the start of the call. What do you see in terms of, and this is super generic, because there's lots of factors involved here, but, profitability levels, Amazon seller versus Walmart seller, same brand. You mentioned less competition. Do you see some of that translate into improved profitability?
100%. So in terms of fees, you're pretty much going to be on par with Amazon when it comes to FBA versus WFS fees. Definitely commission fees. Commission fees are pretty much 15% universally, and then there's some categories which are less, but pretty much on par. WFS and FBA. WFS is changing fees. FBA just has some slight changes to fees. Like, there are some little differences over here, which depending on your product will matter. But let's put that aside. Primarily where you're going to be saving the most on Walmart is in your PPC. Your margins are going to be much greater just from the fact that there's the lack of competition. If you could get into space, you're typically winning a lot of bids below 40 cents, I would say. Auto start 20, manuals at 30. If you're winning most bids below 40, compare that to Amazon, it's just not the case. On Amazon, you have to just bid so much higher because there's so much competition. But on Walmart, it's not there. So you're able to save so much on the ad front that that just gives you so much more margin to work with. Generally, I'll just give some general advice. You want to stick to products that aren't too cheap. Anything under $10 is an extra WFS fee for $1. I don't understand why they're doing this, but it exists. And if anything, even the $10 to $20 range between WFS fees and everything, like it could cut into you and not have the greatest, like let's say ACOS or ROAS, whatever you look at. But once you're getting to, let's say, that $20, $30, $40 range, if that's like where your product sits, like don't be overpriced for the market. I'm saying if that's where your category is for a standard price, that's great. That's such a great place to be at. You'll be seeing those 5, 8, 10 ROASs. You're getting to a really clean spot over there and great profitability.
Excellent. Yeah, you make a really good point about not having to spend all those advertising dollars. I mean, so it's taking up such a large portion of spend these days on the Amazon platform. So, hey, let's talk about how to make it happen. Can I just simply take my Amazon content, put it through one of those, channel integration platforms, push it out, sit back and let the cash roll in? I mean, what do I need to think about?
Yeah. So I don't want to not to here to talk badly on any services that exist. All these different features, all these different services have their own way of like bringing over attributes. I always say, bring over some content, but you want to make sure to focus on some key points. Many people are like, hey, this works great on Amazon, it'll work great on Walmart. That's not the case. Walmart and Amazon are very different when it comes to copy guidelines. Walmart wants a much shorter title, much shorter. They say like 75 characters, up to 120. Anything more than that, they really don't want, and they take away points. They give you what's called a listing quality score. So you want to make sure that you have your copy set up properly. If you don't have that done, like you're wasting your time because you're just Walmart's purposely not giving you the rank you want, because you're not following their guidelines. They want you to be in a certain place based on their style guides, and like look at your listing quality score, follow that, get to a good point over there, and then focus your efforts. Like, why spend so much time and money in advertising when you're not spending the 15-20 minutes or whatever it is, however long it takes on your listing? Put in that work for your listing. It's a different platform. The same way you put in your efforts with Amazon, put in those efforts with Walmart. It's so important. Something as simple as looking into your category paths or your product type, which are automatically determined by Walmart. If you don't set those up properly, oftentimes it'll come through to Walmart as uncategorized in the category path or the product type of default. You're screwed if that's happening, because you're not that determines which keywords you're able to rank for. It's a total mess. We've seen where Walmart will randomly switch a category path. I don't think it's on purpose, but something happens, something triggers something somewhere, and all of a sudden your aluminum foil pans are now categorized as toys, and your sales are now 0. What happened? Look into this. Look for these little things that happen. Constantly check up on it. The same effort that you're going to put into your Amazon, maybe not the same, but like put in a good amount of effort into your Walmart, because these are like you're growing your children like over here. Like, you're putting it into you're looking into the work of the future over here. It's not necessarily just like, oh, am I making money today? No, okay, forget about it. That's a very short-minded view.
So certainly not a set and forget. It does require effort, energy. I mean, like anything in life, right? You want to build an asset, you have to invest the time. So I know we could probably do a completely separate podcast on this, but I'd love to just, what would be your 5 tips in terms of for Amazon sellers transition or expanding into Walmart? What are your top tips or considerations in order to be successful? Probably like a big question and a massive topic, but what would be kind of your headlines in this area?
So I believe almost any product could succeed on Walmart. And when I say almost, what I'm cutting out is the first thing you gotta take a look into. Make sure your product is not too niche and not overpriced for the space. As good as your product is, and as well as it sells on Amazon, Amazon caters to that individual, that cool product that has this feature. Walmart's not there yet. It's going to get there. The same way Amazon evolved into that, Walmart's evolving into that. So make sure, firstly, look up search volume for your product. Is your product even being looked for? And then look at the main keywords and check your pricing compared to them. If you are more expensive, you're going to have to use other strategies, which we'll speak out in the 5. So that's the first thing. Make sure your product is a good fit. Number 2, optimize your listing. We just spoke about this. Look on your copy. Work on your images. Your images typically used from Amazon should be fine, but make sure they're at least good. Don't put up 2 images and expect the listing to sell. Walmart's going to take away points for that. Fill in your attributes. Make sure your categories are set up. Next, get your products into WFS. If you're not using WFS, you have to have some sort of inside 2-day shipping that you can handle yourself. If it's 3+ day shipping, it's really hard to rank. Plus, that plays a big role in the listing quality score. It affects your offer score, and if it's not set up correctly, not good. So make sure WFS and general inventory don't go out of stock. So send it to WFS. It's a great program, highly recommended, and it will definitely help you move units. Next, kick off PPC. Get ads running. You could expect it to do well. You optimize. This should work organically. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. You could even run PPC for a month, even if it's not profitable for you, but it's worthwhile just to use that to get that initial 0 to 1. That's the hardest sale. The hardest sale to make is always that first sale. But once you make that first sale, that second sale comes much easier and just moves from there to 2 to 5 to 10 to 30. It needs that initial push to get off the ground. And another great thing to do is to really have reviews. If you get reviews on your products, this is fantastic. Walmart offers a review accelerator program. Highly recommended to check that out. And additionally, Walmart offers free review syndication. Free. It's insane. You can take any reviews from your website as long as they do not come from Amazon. You can't put Amazon reviews, illegal, but bring in your reviews from your DTC website. It's free, and it's such a great way to edge out the competition. You come into a marketplace where the top seller has 25 reviews. You come in with 50 reviews, boom, you're killing that space in a month. And that's also like one of the strategies if you have a bit of a premium price product, is you could use reviews to kind of get there. But even so, that's not necessarily guarantee success. But again, find the right product, optimize, send in your inventory to WFS, don't go out of stock, get your reviews and run ads, and you will be successful on Walmart.
That is an awesome summary. I was scribbling down here very quickly, David. I love the quote. The hardest sale is to get from 0 to 1. That is so true. And a lot of times we give up before we get to the 1, right? So awesome summary. So hey, let's mean, right up until now, this all sounds like theory, right? And you run a Walmart agency. Obviously you're keen to sort of demonstrate your expertise. So, is there a way you can make it real for us? I mean, what examples have you seen? Have you seen clients that you've taken from X to Y? Paint a picture for us. Obviously, not sharing confidential information to clients, but some as we would say, can you put some meat on the bones for us?
For sure, of course. So we work with so many different types of sellers, from sellers that have been on the platform for a while that used to have great sales. Now they don't have great sales. Hey, we need help. Or sellers that were never on the platform at all. My favorite are those ones that put their listings up, never put in the work, and they're like, hey, Walmart just doesn't work. And we take them and we optimize and we run ads and they grow phenomenally. We took a brand. It's funny, when I was first speaking to Paul about this, I'm like, yeah, we moved them from $2,000 a month to $30,000 a month in less than a year. That was like 2 months ago. They just passed 45K last month. So they're just the fact that they've grown already that much consistent growth it's insane. It's really, I always like to call it like a snowball effect. You see these accounts that go from 2,000 a month, literally there's so many accounts we've seen this that it starts nothing. You're just getting your first sales. Like we just spoke the 0 to 1. That $2,000, 4,000, it just grows so exponentially. And as long as you're maintaining that 20 to 50% month over month growth, which is insane. Think about if you could maintain that on Amazon, that's crazy. But the fact that it exists on Walmart, we have so many accounts that are seeing that month over month, it compounds at an insane rate. To be able to go from just shoot up in a month from 30 to 40, 45K in a month, and then breaking that, getting to 50, eventually crossing that 100K barrier a month. It's really fantastic to be able to see that, to see so many of these brands. And in Merchant Spring, obviously, we see the sales. We like to go last 12 months, and just to see that steep incline is so beautiful, because it's not just like a plain incline. It's always going to be very steep, because it's all about getting those sales, making those small changes. Sale, it just goes really quickly to a very steep point up. And I would say actually one of the things with a lot of clients that we deal with is they get nervous in the first month or two of working together. They're like, hey, where are my sales? We're growing a bit, but it's not really going crazy. You have to have that patience. Give it literally up to 3 months. And at that point, you should typically see, with correct management and work, it'll start to take off. It'll just be boom. All of a sudden, 1 month, you're like, whoa, how do we get 75% growth month over month? What happened over here? It's because you have to wait it out. You have to wait just to get over that initial hurdle. Let's say you have a big catalog. You have to make sure everything is starting to make little sales. And you can see this product's not making sales. What do we have to do to work on those? These products are killing it. Great. Keep pushing for them. You have to look to see, how do we go from making sales in, let's say, 2 units to making sales across all units. And that's slowly but surely, each of these listings turns into a real powerful listing, which it can be. Again, if you follow these tips, you will be able to see that every listing you have should be able to be a success to some degree, at least win in its own category. So again, many accounts going from literally nothing to something, or even accounts that went from, let's say, they used to do 6 figures a month. They're now doing, let's say, in the low 5 figures. What happened? They didn't care. They didn't work on it. We came in, we re-optimized the listings, and they're back on their way up to that. Some of them actually just crossed that 100K a month to get back to where they previously were in sales, just from us working on their whole catalog. We started with just 20 listings. They gave us full access, and we've seen that crazy growth. So there's really insane opportunity, but you have to put in the work.
Yeah, I love that mindset, right? It's definitely not a set and forget. It's taking it all and just tuning. It's like this accumulation of all these 1% changes that everything will come together and it will start to drive. And can I just say, I love your confidence when you say you will see sales. It will, but you got to stick there. And by the way, I think 3 months is not that long. Back in the years ago when I used to run our road agency, I used to tell clients 6 months. 6 months. So I think 3 months you're being very confident, and clearly you've seen lots of use cases there. So that's fantastic. Cool. Hey, before we go on to our last topic, I just want to remind viewers that for those that are tuning in live, we do have a small Q&A section coming up in just 2 or 3 minutes or no. So if you want to ask David anything, doesn't matter how tricky it is, how hard it is, I'm confident he can answer. So pop in your question in the LinkedIn comment section, and we will bring it up here. All right, David, I want to go back to kind of the success and actually the opposite of that, which is, when things have not succeeded. We know that, being successful usually comes at some painful learnings. And, I know there is lots of Amazon sellers who have had a go at Walmart in the past and they've not succeeded. And there's reasons for that, right? What have you seen? I mean, when things do not go to plan, what are the biggest learnings and pitfalls that you've observed, over the course of your career and focusing on Walmart?
For sure, very important to know like what's not going to work. So we've done work with, again, hundreds of brands, tens of thousands of listings, and we've seen across almost all categories that you could sell. And it's really important to not put your efforts for something that's not going to sell. You have to look and make sure that the product is a good fit for Walmart. There's something we spoke about a little before. Like, you have to really do that research. See that this product is able to move on the platform and that you're not overpriced. So many people like that, these extraordinarily premium products, again, that just, they don't work right now in Walmart. I say definitely worthwhile, get that listing up and maybe have like a little budget for it, just see, eventually you'll get there. So like, don't leave it alone, but like, just have it exist. But to spend so much, and like, we've seen brands like they spend so much on like these really expensive listings, it's getting clicks, but they have like a horrible ROAS, like a 0.5 ROAS. It's definitely important to be wary of that. And additionally, if you're selling maybe some really cheaper products, be careful with things. Like, if you're under $10, your minimum WFS fee is going to be $3.45. Yeah, I'm sure Walmart's going to figure something out. But if you're under $10, it's going to be an additional $4.45. So let's say you're selling your product for $9. Pretty much 50% of it's going to WFS off the bat. Then another 15% for commission. You're leaving yourself a really, really thin margin over there. So start to look into maybe some other strategies, into maybe a multi-pack. Sell 2 units. You can literally sell 2 units for a cheaper fulfillment cost than selling 1 unit because it's over $10. So like, just some like ideas behind that. And just to know, like, at a certain point, I would never say forget it. Like, don't leave it alone, because I believe the future of the marketplace will be the same opportunity as existed with Amazon. But sometimes you just have to take a break. Just let it be. Some products are just not a good suit for Walmart, good fit. Look at that search volume. That's going to be your biggest indicator. So definitely highly recommended to dive into that before like going crazy with spend on Walmart.
Yeah, no, great. Really appreciate those practical nuggets and advice there, David. That is great. Cool. Well, let's move into. We've got just around 2 minutes left, and let's tackle a couple of questions. I've got one sort of written down here that we've received earlier, but I'm going to go straight to questions from Jeff, actually. So Jeff actually posted 2 questions. I'm going to start with his PPC question because I think it sort of ties back to a little bit of what you're just talking about. So let me just bring it up there. So Jeff's saying, I'm running ads with max bids and I'm still getting really minimal impressions. Why do you think that is? Is that a keyword issue, a category issue, or a detailed page issue, or something else perhaps?
For sure. So very common, you throw your listing up there and you expect the ads to start working. But did you do the work? Did you optimize your listing? Did you check your categories? Like, it could be a myriad of things. First, check the listing before you start throwing money into the ads. Check your product type and your category path. I would say that's the best first place to start. Then look at your listing quality score. Are you fulfilling with WFS, or are you expecting the 3+ day shipping to work? Look at then your main keyword on the landscape on Walmart. How do you price? And also look at the WFS comparatively. If the top 10 products are all WFS, you're going to have a hard time selling your 3+ day thing that's going to arrive next week. So it's very important to look at these things. Look at the pricing for competitors. Look at the shipping of competitors. Make sure your keywords are obviously on point. You want to make sure your keywords are keyword on Walmart. It's a whole strategy, obviously, but generally your main keyword in your title, and throughout the description, like, layer in all those additional keywords. You don't want to have like a really heavy, intensive keyword title. That's just not the way Walmart expects you to do things. So it could be that, but sometimes it's just no search volume. Look at the search volume for your main keyword. If your product fits in over there and there's enough search volume, great. If there's 2 or 10 search volume, you're probably not going to make any sales because there's very few people looking for it. So, but anything in the hundreds, even a few hundred, like we've seen products that have 300 search volume that still make good sales monthly. It's just because it's showing growth, and it's going to continue month over month. That's like you're muted.
Thank you, David. Another one from Jeff here. He's posting quite a few. I might not be able to get to all of them, Jeff, but thank you so much for contributing. I appreciate it. Great question. Are there categories, products, or price points just won't sell on Walmart. For example, $350 electronic chessboard. I mean, are there no-go areas that maybe go areas in the future, but right now you'd steer clear of?
Well, I'm not going to say specific areas that are like, oh, definitely don't look into that. Definitely don't look into that. But let's just say $350 for an electronic chessboard. First seat, does electronic chessboard have search volume? If there's 500 people looking for it a month or 1,500 people looking for it a month, big difference if there's 2 people looking for it a month. Just like we're just saying right now, look at that search volume for it. Then if you see, let's say you go and you look and there's 5,000 searches monthly. That's already good, and you can probably sell a more premium product. But if it's more of on the lower end, and you look for an electronic chessboard on Walmart and you see the top 15 products are all under $100, you're gonna have a really hard time selling that one for $350. It's just very hard to get there. You could flash it in their face as much as you want. It's just not. Walmart is the marketplace right now for generic products. Why are you going to electric? I know that's your product. Sell a regular chessboard. I'm telling you, you could sell a regular chessboard on Walmart right now, which you wouldn't even think about selling on Amazon. At a regular price, you sell a $20 game of chess on Walmart, you'll make sales, which is crazy to think about because on Amazon, you know how many hoops you have to go through to get your product all the way up to the top. That's where the point is on Walmart. Stick to the more generic products. The niche products tend to not do as well because there's less volume for them. But it will come with time. So there is hope. Just today may not be the day.
Not now, maybe in the future. That's a great way. Thank you, David. I'm going to throw up a question here from Camaral. He's saying, what are the first things that you check once you hand over the account? Or usually when the client hands over the account to you, are you utilizing any tools? Other than, you mentioned already those 5 things, what are some of the other steps that you take? Maybe more from an agency point of view, as you onboard a new client, what does it look like?
Sure, I'll spill all our secrets here, no problem. So there is merchant speak is great. I would say that's a great way to just firstly see your listing scores, as well as obviously your sales is like the main thing that's promoted to you. And there's other information they're reporting, but the way we do honestly a lot of our stuff is internal systems that we've already built beforehand. So we have it all prepped to already get the data from Walmart, take a look at these different things. So it's not necessarily an existing system that is someone out there selling. The first things you want to look at is pull an item report. That's such an easy way to look at what's going on with your products. Go through your listings. Are they all WFS eligible? Are some only seller fulfilled? There you go. You have a list of which products you want to start converting to WFS. Are they all active? You have an unpublished listing? Take a look at that. You look at your category paths. Just skim through it. Does it look correct? They give you what's called a shelf path, which is just the current, like the lowest level of the category path. And then they have the whole category path. Make sure you're categorized correctly. If it says UNNAV, like for unavailable, if it says UNAV, that's a problem immediately. Next, go to your growth opportunities. Pull a listings report for all your listings. Take a look at that. Your content discoverability low sucks. Your content discoverability score is low. Problem. You look at your offer score. Problem. Like you want to see and make sure those are all clean. They also tell you if your price is competitive with that of Amazon. Walmart tracks your Amazon prices, and if you're more expensive on Walmart, they're going to take away points for that. Sometimes they categorize you. They put you like with an ASIN that's not even yours. You have to open up a case for that. Make sure you find all these problems. The first thing is identify problems that exist. Also on that report, it shows a product type. Look at the product type. Does that look like your product that you're selling? Click on the option to edit it. Look at the other 3 options that they give you. If the other ones make more sense, choose that. If it's completely wrong, you have to open a case. Make sure you're looking at all these things that just stop you from ranking as a whole. The next thing you want to do is really focus on the images and copy and all that. There's other issues as well. Content rights is a big problem on Walmart. Back in the day, you have these sellers selling millions of units, or not units, millions of products that they just copy and pasted from Amazon. Like the images were all screwed up and the copy was all bad. You have someone thing that says coming soon and like it's a real product, So you have to win the content right cases with Walmart. That's a problem that you have to deal with, definitely before you get going, because if you have the wrong content on your listing, it's going to be really hard to make sales. So many different things to look at when you first get an account. I would say focus on the categories. That's one of the big things. Make sure your listing scores are good. That's just like really a simple way to go at it.
Thank you, David. And thank you for all of you who submitted questions. Apologies, we haven't got around to all of them. David and I might just jump into the LinkedIn comments section after and just answer some of them as well. We are out of time, so we're going to have to wrap it up. David, thank you for coming on the show today. You really helped, and you were so generous with your expertise, sharing those insider secrets, as you said, to help us and help the audience better understand the opportunity that's out there when it comes to Walmart. Thank you so much. For any viewers that are watching live or maybe on demand later, and they're interested in having a conversation with you, in exploring your services, I mean, how do they get a hold of you? What's the best way?
Sure. So you could email me directly if you'd like, david@cellcord.co, SELLCORD.co. You can message us info@cellcord.co, whatever you like, or even just visit our website, cellcord.co. You can see anything you want. It tells us a little bit about what we do. We have some blogs. You can go ahead and sign up for our monthly emails. Whatever you like, sign up for services. Why not? Give us a shot. We'll be sure to get your Walmart sales moving.
Awesome. That's a great wrap, David. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I look forward to inviting you again to go deeper on some of these topics. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
All right, everyone. That is it for today's episode. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned for some of our new episodes coming up. Head to our registration page on our website. You can see all the other episodes that we've got lined up for you over summer. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon. Take care.